Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. You've got Darren Little here from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. And I wanted to hop on here, guys, and do a quick Facebook Live to give you a few updates as to what's happening right now to help you to be able to make $10,000 before Christmas. So welcome to the call. If you can just tune in here, tell me where are you tuning in from so we can say a quick hello. If you're on the broadcast, just throw me a comment there, guys. Throw me a comment. Who do we have tuning in here today? Who do we have? Ron Mayberry, welcome to the broadcast. Happy Monday there, brother. Happy Monday. Who else do we got, guys? Who else do we got? Who else do we got on the broadcast? Throw me a comment, guys. Throw me a comment. Okay, we've got Mosen. What's up, Darren? Yes, welcome to the call, Mosen. Good to see you. Who else do we got, guys? Who else do we have? Who else do we have? I love this. I love this software. Got to tell you, it's great. Mosen is tuning in from Canada. Good to see you here. Atif, live from Luton, UK. Good to see you here. Laura Wall, great to see you. And we got Federica, live from Florida. Awesome, awesome. Okay, guys, so I want to give you a little bit of update here as to what's been going on here over the last couple of days, okay? What I'm doing right now is I'm rolling out the 10K Side Hustle Showdown. And what I'm going to be doing for the month of November is I'm going to be taking a group of people under my wing, and I'm going to show you step by step exactly what you need to do to be able to add an extra $10,000 to your income before Christmas, okay? Now, a couple days ago, I interviewed one of my students, Samuel Mojica Jr. He was actually a bread factory worker making minimum wage, and his very first month in Millionaire Mentoring, he made $23,000 US. And then we went on to interview Pornthip Molding, and that was quite an amazing testimony. You can probably scroll down my wall and you can see the interviews. But that story, guys, I'm telling you, she was hoodwinked for $55,000 with this whole concept of upgrading and buying more traffic. $55,000 that she lost with that particular business. And she was basically burnt out from corporate America. Her marriage was falling apart because her husband didn't know that she had used all that money to try to better the family. And she found herself in a really, really tough spot. The family had just been in a head-on collision and almost died. Plus, she found out that her mom just was diagnosed with cancer. And from that point till today, she's made over $200,000. She's just signed another, I think, $72,000 consulting contract. So truthfully, no matter where you're at on your life path, no matter how far down the rabbit hole you might be right now, upcoming this week, okay, tomorrow night, I'm going to be interviewing a gentleman. His nickname is Civi, and he was in the same position. He was so far down the rabbit hole. He had spent hundreds of thousands of dollars looking for the gateway out, maxed out credit cards, used all his savings account, taken out loans. And he was only making $1,000 a month in Boracay, Philippines, and struggling to try to get to his breakthrough. And when I flew to Manila, and he heard I was coming in town to Boracay, he spent probably about 5 days with myself and my business partner to really look at where were the holes in his business. And I kind of equate it to, if you have a bowl and you want to fill the bowl up with water and the water is streaming into the bowl, the water is working, right? And the bowl is your income. In the event that you've got the water turned on, and you're dealing with a spaghetti strainer that has holes in it, it will never, ever fill up. I mean, you could have that water going as long as you want, and it's just going to keep on draining out the bottom. And that's what happens for a lot of people that get into, whether it's online or into the MLM industry. They don't understand the business model. They don't get the concept especially coming over here from corporate America and trying to transfer it over here into a networking business model or something where you're trying to build an organization, a global team. Now, what I'm going to be sharing during the month of November is the exact blueprint that myself and my business partner have used. In one particular company, in a 30-day period of time, we built a team of over 6,000 people without spending a single penny on paid ads. The rollout prior to that, we put over 5,400 people into a company in test marketing. That means we didn't spend any money, no traffic, no ads, no Google, no SEO, just value to the people, guys, value to the people. And this is really the thing to understand about our particular business model. Atif says, how are you, brother? I'm doing great. Good to see you here. Who do we got here? We've got Marlene. Hey, Marlene, how are you today? Great to see you here. Ron Mayberry sending love from Newcastle, Delaware. Great to have you on. Barry, live from South Africa, life in South Africa. Who do we got here? Kamotso, KG live from South Africa. Awesome. We've got Corey. Good Monday to you, Darren. Good Monday to you, Corey. Great to see you here. Facebook user says, hey, hey. Mark Presswood says, good afternoon. Millionaire Mentor, Darren Little, California, checking in on the live. Marlene says, doing great, thanks. And Almira says, great to see you as strong. Great to see you, Almira. Long time no see. And we've got Ron tuning in from Australia. Guys, you know, I'm gonna tell you that right now we're going through sort of an economic uncertainty. There's a lot of newspapers and articles that are predicting that we're actually heading for a recession right now. And I've been through that once already. You know, in my early 20s, there was a recession that hit. And it basically, on the front page headlines of the business section, it said, advertisers buckle up, recession hits. And I actually had an advertising agency at that time, and people would come to me when they were really fall down the rabbit hole, and they would give me 50% retainer to start on the project, to rebrand them and pull out a campaign. And within 3 months later, by the time the campaign was done, they would already be under. And I got left with all of these printing bills from all of the printers for all of these companies that were going belly up. And it ended up sending me down the rabbit hole. And that was my sort of first experience of being an entrepreneur, going all in on my dream, and ended up losing everything. And I had to start all over again and build all the way back up. So, you know, when it comes to really understanding what it means to be an entrepreneur, what it means to go for it and go all in, go for your dream, trust me, guys, I've been there. 3 decades now of being an entrepreneur. So I know what it's like. I know what that, you know, grind is to go to work, and the alarm clock and the traffic and the drama at work, and how people will just step on each other to try to make it up to the top. And there's a lot of, you know, it's almost like warfare, quite frankly, within a corporation for people to jockey for position to be able to get their pay raise to get up to the top, right? And if that's you, if you're in that position and you've, you know, reached a breaking point, you've truly reached a breaking point right now in your life, and you really want to be able to escape, I can tell you that I've trained thousands and thousands of people throughout the course of my career on what to do, how to do it, to be able to transfer from corporate America over here to the networking model over here, so that you can build a global organization and be able to truly live a life of freedom. And, you know, looking back to when I first got started in this industry, the thing that truly had the most impact on me was one particular quote. And the quote was from J. Paul Getty. And J. Paul Getty said, I would rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And that's when I really got it, because if you have a global organization You know, like let's take a look at the one that we rolled out of 6,000 people. That 6,000 people can easily turn into 60,000 people over the course of a year, with everybody working 1 single hour a day. Okay. Now, if you were to do the math and pull out your calculator, right? Pull out your calculator and start to really think about this, because if you're working an 8-hour day, okay, so let's say you're working an 8-hour day, and I take 6,000 divided by 8, I've got 750 days. Okay, 750 days in one day that you're working, right? Through the leverage, through the power of leverage and the power of duplication through an entire army of people. And in the event that you've been taught by your MLM company to make a top 200 list or make a list of your friends and family, I can tell you that there's a way better way. There's a way that you can build an organization without having to go to any of them. There's a way to build an organization without ever getting rejected. There's a way that you can generate unlimited leads using the power of Facebook and other social media networks, okay? There's a way that you can actually take the leads from here and get people to buy your products or become an affiliate without actually having to harass them, without having to do any convincing. They just join because of the value that you provide as a leader. And that's the thing to really understand about our particular business model. It's not a convincing model, guys. It's not a pitching business model. It's a teaching and training business model. The products get sold, but they get sold in a completely different way. And unless you have the training, unless you have the education, unless you have somebody that's going to take you under their wing so that you can kind of peer over their shoulder and watch the process in action so that you can get it. And I believe what one of my millionaire mentors said to me, that the best way to teach somebody is to first explain to them what you're going to do, and then show them what you do live, and then have them do it, and then help to steer them so that they don't step on a mine and blow up, right? That's really the key. Okay, so who else do we have here? We've got Angeline live from New York, right? Great to see you, Angeline, always showing up. David Dobkins tuning in live from Tucson, Arizona. Angeline says she loves that quote, and I agree, so true. Guys, you know, this is really the power. This is the difference between winging it and knowing what the actual action steps that you need to do on a daily basis, the income producing activities that are going to put you into a position where your income goes like this, like that. And in the event that you don't know what those income producing activities are, then you're at a major disadvantage to the people that do. One of the students that I mentored, he was only 17 years old, okay, 17. And he basically showed up, right? 80% of success, guys, I'm going to tell you straight up, is all about just showing up. But he got the concept right away. He watched live recruiting. He watched how do you attract the right type of buyers to you. And in the very first 6 weeks, guys, he made $50,000 in profit, okay, in profit. So the numbers that I talk about, these are people that learned the strategy on social media so that they didn't have to go spend a fortune on paid ads. They didn't have to max out their credit cards. They didn't have to use up their entire savings account. And they learned the strategy on how to not only get the income, okay, but get to financial freedom. And truth be known, guys, a lot of people have some other bigger vision or a bigger dream other than just making money online. So Billy Innelis, as an example, he got suckered down to the upgrade and buy more traffic model. He had used all his savings account. He had maxed out his credit cards. He learned this particular formula. His very, very first year, he made $140,000. And then after that, he ended up wanting to open up his own music business. and he just did the commercial for the Raptors. Now he's working with a high-end watch company, doing all their music for all their commercials, and he's on the path where he's truly living his dream. Yennefer and Jose, which you're going to actually hear from on Thursday night, if you just opt in right below to 10ksidehustle.com, you'll get all the notifications of these interviews that are going to be happening. The first one, that's the next one that's coming out, is going to be tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's going to be Aaron, right? He's the one that was in Boracay. He had his biggest month ever. He made $14,000 in a month after struggling. And now he actually is one of the owners of his own business opportunity. And I'm not talking about being an affiliate, guys. I'm talking about the skills that he learned in Millionaire Mentoring gave him enough personal power that him and 3 other of my students have actually launched their own business opportunity. Okay, I want you to really think about this, guys. Okay, so Aaron has been in Millionaire Mentoring for roughly about a year. We've got Aston Martin Davids, we've got Bradley Murray, and we got Lucianne Godfrey. And the other 3 guys have only been in Millionaire Mentoring for roughly about 7 months. Lucianne just had a $2,100 day today. Lucianne, congratulations, brother. Congratulations. Super proud of you. And this is really, truly the power. So the 3 of them have been in Millionaire Mentoring for 7 months. Aaron's been in for about a year. And all of them partnered up and they rolled out their own business opportunity, guys. It is phenomenal. Okay, quite frankly, it's mind-boggling. The power that you will find is in when somebody shows you exactly what to do step by step. Kelly, great to see you here. Yo, good to see you here. Betty is live. Betty Anderson, good to see you here. Guys, in the event that you really have a dream and you really want to be able to live that freedom lifestyle, I can tell you that the fast track to the top is learning the 7-figure formula and then piggybacking off of the 7-figure formula. So we've already tried, tested, and proven these strategies, guys, okay? Just to show people what's possible, okay? So, I call it kind of taking a hit for the team, okay? Taking a hit for the team. Now, what do I mean by that? I wanted to be able to show people in the very first 30 days, right, when I rolled this out to show them what was possible. Now keep in mind, I'm not going to tell you that I just sat back and money just rained from the sky, okay? Because if somebody has you convinced of that, it's complete BS. So don't believe that. But I had to put together some pages for the team. I had to put together, a logo and branding and things of that nature. I had to write some copy. I had to do a launch event. I did a number of interviews with the students that had already had success their very first month, but with no paid ads. Okay, no paid ads, guys. I didn't use Facebook ads. I didn't use Google ads. I didn't use Bing ads. I didn't use, YouTube ads. I didn't do SEO. But in the very first month, blazing the trail, I took a hit for the team and I made the personal sacrifices. And I probably had about 13 all-nighters that very first month just to show them what was possible. But the very first month, I made $165,000 in Canadian funds. Keep in mind, in Canada, you get a pay raise of about 34%. But, for me in Canada, it was 165 grand. And then after that, I took off and I went to Manila for a couple of months and I spent some time with my business partner over there in Eastwood City, in Quezon City, Ari Maccabee and his wife. We got a chance to hang out. Now, the interesting thing, guys, okay, life throws you curveballs sometimes. And I want for you to think about what this might be like for you if you went away on a vacation, okay? And going into the vacation, I was already having some lower back problems. And previous to that, I was in a what's called spinal decompression, where they put you on a table and they're pulling you apart a little bit. And seeing that there was a problem prior to leaving, for 10 days prior to leaving, I was in spinal decompression. I already had some lower back pain. I already had some problems with my hip pressing onto my sciatic nerve and sending shooting pains down my leg. And if you've never gone through that, I'm telling you, you don't want to go through that, okay? Now, we were about 3 weeks into the trip, okay? 3 weeks into the trip. And Ari says, you know, you got to see this island. I mean, it's amazing. It's called Boracay or Boracay, right? One of the two. I don't know how you pronounce it. But so we go to this, we're en route to this island, right? And we called an Uber, okay? And the Uber doesn't show up. Now, when you're in Manila, if you do not get onto the freeway in a little tiny window of time, you're hooped. Like, forget about catching your plane, because you could be in traffic for 2 hours just to get to the airport. So we're, you know, the Uber's now, you know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And, you know, it's like 4 o'clock in the morning. We got to catch like a 6:30 flight. And all of a sudden I see a cab. I go, oh my God, there's a cab. So I'm waving for the cab and I'm pulling my suitcase behind me, and the sidewalk drops 8 inches. Okay. And the impact of the 8-inch drop, bam, my leg hits. It blows my vertebrae directly into my sciatic nerve. So it's bulging out now, pressing on my sciatic nerve, okay? So now I'm pretty much, I can't walk. So we get on the plane. Now we're in Boracay. And all the way through this trip, we were there for about a week, I was in excruciating pain, okay? A lot of the times when I got up in the morning, if I woke up, first thing that I'd have to do is take muscle relaxants to, you know, work the muscles out. And then to get up from the bed, I'd get muscle spasms in my leg. And then I'd have to go sit in the bathtub for about 45 minutes so that the thing would, you know, loosen up a little bit. And if I was walking around, I couldn't sit. Okay, I'd only be able to sit on the corner of my butt cheek to, you know, have dinner or drinks or whatever. And it was a real tough holiday, okay? Really tough holiday. Now, directly from Boracay, we went directly to emergency. And when I got off the trip and my leg was going into shock, and I was like, bam, they put me straight into the, you know, IV, and they shot me up with Demerol, and they started doing x-rays. The doctor comes in and he goes, dude, you got a serious problem. You're gonna require surgery. You're gonna require surgery. Now, what would happen for you in the event that you went away on vacation and all of a sudden you found yourself in a third world country and the doctor told you that you had to have surgery there? Okay. Now, I'm going to tell you, it was probably one of the most challenging things that I've ever been through my whole life. Okay. I was in the hospital in Manila, in St. Luke's Hospital, for an entire month. Okay. One whole month I was in the hospital, and I did have to have back surgery. Now, the interesting thing about it is that when you go to Manila and you check yourself in to the hospital there, they have guards at the door with rifles, okay? You cannot leave the hospital until that bill is paid, okay? Now, thankfully, I had my computer with me, thankfully, okay? And using this formula during the month that I was in the hospital, in fact, there's probably a video on YouTube where I was actually doing Millionaire Mentoring from my hospital bed for the people. And I think during that month while I was there, in bed in the hospital, I still was able to generate about $25,000, right? It was like in between $20,000 and $25,000. And thankfully, I had my computer, and thankfully, I understand how this formula works, right? Because I ended up using that money to pay the hospital bill, okay? Because it was roughly right around that amount of money. It was about 25 grand for me to go through this process. The hospital bed alone was roughly about $500 US per day. Plus you got your meds, your IV, your, the stuff that they put you on, the painkillers, plus the surgery, and the interesting thing about it was that the insurance only paid for about the first 6 days where they were doing some treatment and stuff on me with cryotherapy and ultrasound. It didn't pay for the rest of the stuff. Now, thankfully, I know this formula. Thankfully. What would you do if that ever happened to you? Most families, that would completely ruin them. That would completely ruin their family to all of a sudden be a, $25,000 bill. And most families don't even have that. They don't have that type of money just sitting around, right? Okay, so let's see who we got here. We've got Kenny White, great to see you. Darren, always great catching you live. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate you, brother. Michelle says she's had sciatica before. It's very, very painful. Angeline has had sciatica. She says, what a blessing. Honestly, guys, if I did not know these skills, if I did not know what to do to provide value to the people, if I did not know the specific 7-figure formula that we teach, I'd have been in problems, right? I'd have been in problems, right? Because at that time, it was a type of situation where I couldn't get my debit card to be able to work within their system there, right? And I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't work at the time. The second time I went back, it worked fine. But, I basically, the payments that I had coming in were coming into my PayPal account. And then I could PayPal that money to Ari, and then Ari would just take out the cash and I could pay with that, right? But if I hadn't been in that situation, like, what would I have done? What would you do if you were in that type of situation? So what I want to be able to do is to teach you these skills, okay? To teach you these skills. And I can tell you this, once you learn these skills, I can tell you unequivocally that you will never, ever have to worry about money ever again for the rest of your life, okay? Ever again. Because it's all about a specific formula that we use, okay, on how to attract the right type of buyers, and then exactly what to say to the people line by line in order to get them from prospect over to here, which is to be either a customer or an affiliate of whatever it is that you're marketing. Lonnie says, I was at St. Luke's in Quezon City at the time that you were, I think. Oh, interesting. Blake says, always good to see you, buddy. Great to have you here. Kenny White says, that's real right there. Something to definitely think about. Could happen to anyone. And it really could, guys. And a lot of people don't think about this. And I had travel insurance. Okay? And the travel insurance only covered about $6,700 of it. And I didn't get that for about 5 months later. You still have to give them the money on the front end and then fill out a claim form, take all your receipts, and then submit your story. And then they go over everything. I have to submit my x-rays and all the stuff about, what happened and everything else with all of the bills. And they decided that they were only going to give me $6,700 of all the money that I paid. Okay. So Rakeem says, hey, what's up, Darren? What do we got here? Joel, great to see you here. Mr. Consistent. Leadership is awesome. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. 30 plus years of experience. The strategies clearly work. This is the thing, guys. I'm not talking about any of this from hype. Okay. You won't see me in a situation where I'm talking about get in now and lock your spot. Okay. That you will not see me say that. What I will tell you is that the students, okay, those are the people that the stories that you want to hear. Okay. This isn't about my personal stories, guys. This is coming from people that are brand new newbies, people that have never marketed a day in their life before. Samuel, when he was a bread factory worker, and prior to that, all he did was play video games in a cubicle. Like, seriously, he had never marketed ever before. Same thing with PornFed. She thought spending the 55 grand was going to be her gateway to freedom. And it put her into a position where she was almost bankrupt, right? From that. It almost destroyed her marriage because of it. But now, if you watch her testimonial, over $200,000 that she's been able to earn already. But what's cool is that the strategies work both online and they work offline. One of the students, this is a really great story because he sent me like a long letter telling me how he had taken the strategies that I teach, and he was working for a company that does door-to-door sales, okay? Where you just knock on the door and the person opens up the door, and then you've got, you know, a couple of seconds to be able to get in, okay? And over an 8-month period of time, he recruited an entire army of college students that were, you know, he was teaching them the strategies that he learned from me. And he did $2 million in sales door to door in 8 months. He got promoted to vice president of the company, and now he's part owner of the company. And the formula that he learned was what I teach in Millionaire Mentoring. So just to give you an idea, one of the students that I had is an engineer. He got 3 pay raises, 2 job promotions. He signed a $30,000 consulting contract, and he was able to triple his income, okay, in corporate America, guys. Okay, so I'm not just talking about online marketing here. You know, there's other people that have never ever been on the leaderboards in their network marketing or MLM companies, and right into the top 10 using this formula. So it's definitely, Lonnie says his son had surgery there at St. Luke's. And Rakeem says, we'll see at the intensive. This is something, guys, and I want to tell you that this isn't just about actual strategy, okay? This has to do with what does it take to overcome the negative self-talk that we all battle. We all battle this. 80% of self-talk each day is typically going to be negative. So how do you flip that? How do you flip it so that it starts to be 80% positive? And what do you do to be able to manifest anything that you want in your reality? Okay. Now, the stuff that I teach has to actually do with quantum physics. Okay. Quantum physics, understanding the wave particle theory, understanding the law of attraction, on how do we actually as human beings create the reality in the first place. And you're going to learn this because I'm going to explain it. And the cool thing about it is when I start talking about it, when I just start talking about the law of attraction, about manifestation, quantum physics, then there's these energy waves that will start going through my body as I'm starting to talk about it. And that transfers through the portal, right? This is an energy portal here. Zoom's an energy portal, Skype's an energy portal, this is an energy portal. And once you understand exactly how this works and why it works, you'll be able to start tapping into the same vibrational frequency too. And that's the gateway to universal abundance. And that's where the money flow is. So this is more than just learning how to generate leads, okay? These are strategies that I've learned over the course of 30 years, starting with Tony Robbins, 3 years with Dr. Lee Poulos, who specialized in the power of visualization, right? He was the president for the Canadian Society of Clinical Hypnosis, and the stuff that I learned from him was next level. And then Dr. Dov Baron, who really taught me about how does the equation for manifestation actually work to apply it into your life. Now, the cool thing here, is that this transfers over into all these other areas. So the one couple had been divorced for 4 years. Okay, one couple was divorced for 4 years. They got remarried, guys. 2 kids. They went from divorced to remarried. Okay. I had one lady that was scheduled to have her thyroid removed. Okay. She was dealing with being overweight. She was diabetic, right? She had to do insulin shots every day. And after the training was done, this is a phenomenal story because she lost about 18 pounds without being on any diet products, and she cut her insulin levels in half. And when she went to have her thyroid removed, the doctor said she didn't need to have her thyroid removed. So she went for a second opinion, and the second doctor said, no, your thyroid's fine. It doesn't need to be removed. So, you know, once you understand quantum physics, guys, I'm telling you, your whole reality completely changes. It's a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon. So, guys, in the event that you're struggling in your business right now, okay, 97 out of every 100 people that's in our industry is struggling. Okay, they're not making any money. They're failing miserably. They don't want to admit it, but they're not making even enough money a lot of times to even pay for their auto ship. So their credit card is paying for their auto ship versus the business paying for their auto ship. Most people don't understand how to recruit. They think it's a selling and convincing model, and it's not. Okay, it's a teaching and training model. And you got to know what to do to be able to get to the results. Bottom line, you know, there's Pornthip right there. We just interviewed her the other day. Pornthip, maybe you can just type in there. I know that we had a phenomenal interview the other night, but I know that when we chatted, you were over 200,000, and you just said something about signing another $70,000 consulting contract. What would the total be from the first time that you and I met and you went through an intensive until today, with all your consulting contracts, all your online income, your cryptocurrency stuff, you know, any affiliate programs that you've done? If you were to add everything up, post there in a comment, what would the total be of everything all in that you've been able to generate using these strategies? Okay, type there in the comments, Pornthip, if you can, to give people an idea of what's possible once you learn these particular strategies. If you could just type that in, Pornthip, that would be great, just to give people an idea of what's actually possible. So here's what's going to be happening, guys, over this next week. Okay, now keep in mind, some of the people are traveling the world and stuff right now, so I've got to be able to still get a hold of them. But tomorrow night, you're going to hear the story about Aaron. Okay. On Thursday night, you're going to hear the story of Yennefer and Jose. They went from 2 days with no water and an eviction notice. First year, they made 157 grand. The second year, they now own their own advertising agency. Yennefer is writing a book right now. She's writing a chapter in a book, and she actually is the admin, okay, for ClickFunnels now, the ClickFunnels group. Yennefer is the admin for ClickFunnels. So it gives you an idea of how fat. Now that's a name brand, guys. Russell Brunson is a name brand in our industry. And keep in mind, just 2 years ago, they didn't know anything about marketing. They didn't know anything about any of these strategies. So for them to now go from affiliate marketing to owning an advertising agency to now managing the ClickFunnels group and writing a chapter in her own in a book that's coming out. Okay, so she's now approximately $270,000, and she's negotiating a new $72,000 consulting contract. Now, guys, this is somebody that, you know, roughly 2 years ago was literally on the verge of bankruptcy. Her marriage was falling apart, and now she's repaired it, and boom, she's gone straight to the top. And honestly, if you see her back here and then you see her over here, you'll literally go like, wow, okay? And she was actually a diabetic prior, and now she's no longer a diabetic. Figure that out. So prior to this Millionaire Mentoring, she was a diabetic, and on the interview, she just announced to me and told me that she's no longer a diabetic. And the interesting thing is, Pornthip is now re-enrolled into the next intensive. That's the power of this stuff, guys. Samuel, he's now 23. When he started with me, he was 21. He's enrolled into the next intensive. So this is something that you get so incredible amounts of value from. It will blow your mind, guys. I'm telling you, it will blow your mind. And if you want to be able to hear some more of these testimonials, I'm going to be doing all the way out throughout the week. And if you want to be on the notification list, right there, 10ksidehustle.com. And the month of November, guys, the month of November, we're going to be huddling up, and I'm going to explain these concepts in detail so that you can really understand the power of the human mind and what you need to do to manifest anything that you want. Okay, anything that you want. Doesn't matter what it is. Okay. Okay. Marlene says, congratulations, Pornthip. David Dopkins says, fire. And Kelly says, thank you, Darren. Looking forward to future webinars. I believe, guys, that results speak way louder than hype. Real, true results from people that are just like you. I'm not talking about using testimonials for master marketers here, guys. I'm talking about, average everyday people that just had a dream. Okay. I was actually on a call last night. Somebody reached out to me and they said, hey, Darren, I watched some of your Facebook lives and I'd like it if we could maybe hop on a phone call. So we hopped on a phone call and he brought up a story that was actually about Stephen Munson. Okay. And he was talking about how, Stephen Munson's got a really inspiring story. And I said, yeah, Stephen Munson went through my training when he was homeless. And by month 6, he had a $20,000 month from homeless. And now he owns his own network marketing company called Heal. Okay. You may have seen it on social media. And I said, I know the story very well because he went through my training and he learned this formula. And, his life's totally done a massive turnaround. Now, the interesting thing is if you go back at that time, he was very, very angry with what was going on in his life. And he was, when you hear his story, because I interviewed him about 5 years ago or something, when he just had this massive breakthrough. And when you see him on the other side of the training, his energy is like, he literally looks like he's a light glowing, right, in the interview. Right? It's a phenomenon. It's a phenomenon. Who else have we got here? We've got Rakeem. I know it will be powerful. I'm glad I'll be attending. Pierre Ingram, great to see you, brother. Pierre's in the house, right? Value. Thank you so much. Pornthip says faith, belief, acceptance, commitment, and consistency. Pierre says, thank you, Darren. Great to have you here. Tony says, hi, Darren, and 10ksidehustle.com. That is the registration so that you can get all these notifications for all these interviews. And honestly, guys, that's why I'm here on this planet. Okay. That is why I'm here on this planet, is to get somebody to their personal breakthrough. And the only thing that you need is a dream. That's all you need. You need a dream. Okay. And you need just to be coachable. Just surrender your pride, surrender your ego, follow the exact steps that I teach you to do. And I can tell you that after you learn them, you will never, ever have to worry about money ever again for the rest of your life. Okay. And they don't require tech skills. They don't require tech skills, guys, because I don't have tech skills myself. I still type like this with 2 fingers as a chicken pecker typer. So I can tell you that as long as you can speak, right, as long as you have a voice, right, that you can master these skills. And they work not only online, but they work in corporate America. They work in any entrepreneurial business. I helped one realtor that was struggling add an extra $250,000 in real estate commissions to her bottom line, okay, in roughly about 18 months or so, right? But roughly about $250,000 that she was able to make by learning this formula. She got written up a bit in a magazine, and the owner of the office asked if she would teach all of the other realtors on the power of social media and what she was able to do to be able to get the results. One lady was living on her credit cards, okay, paying interest just to eat, right? And I was able to help her get past $300,000 in online income. So this is the real deal, guys. Okay, this is the real deal. So what I would encourage you to do, opt in there, 10ksidehustle.com. In the event that you want to be one of the people in the November intensive, once the interview is on for about a minute, there's a button that comes up that says "Get Started Now." That will take you over to the sales page where you can, make sure that you're going to be in the training. Every single training that I did last year, okay, every one, they were all sold out, guys. Every single one was all sold out. So there's a little bit of time left. In the event that you truly want to change your life, in the event that you're tired of struggling, in the event that you want to start making $1,000, $2,000, like Lucien had a $2,100 day today. Bradley Murray had a $2,100 day last week. It's really cool to see this with people that just have a dream. That's what separated them. They just have a dream. This is my #1 foundation skills people must acquire to succeed in any industry. Rakeem says, yes, that's very true. Guys, hopefully got some value from this broadcast today. If you did, please throw me a comment down there below. If you think somebody else can be inspired or motivated by this, as I'm talking about this, guys, this is a phenomenon. I literally have rushes of goosebumps on my arm. You can see my hair standing up right there on my arm, but it continues as I talk about quantum physics and law of attraction, manifestation, the wave particle theory. That's a success vibration, and it pulsates through my entire body. And I'm going to teach you how to be able to access the success vibration too. So throw me a comment down there below. Share this out with your team. Share this out with your people. I really believe that if you can just transform one person's life, guys, a single person, that, my friends, is what being a superhero is really all about. And that is our industry, transforming other people's lives. Thanks a lot, Angeline. I really appreciate that. Pierre says, always get value from you. Thank you so much, Pierre. Great chatting the other day. Laura says, thank you. Guys, I'm excited. I'm fired up. I love helping people go to the next level. And if you want to truly get 2020 to be the best year that you've ever had your entire life, where you never have to worry about money ever again, show up. 80% of success is all about showing up, and you could be the next success story too. So thanks a lot for joining me, and have a great day. All the best.